Okay, hello. It is a very Monday. Just, and y'all need to remember to save your work today. I have been having uh not a great amount of luck with computers today. So we'll just leave that there. I've not been having the best of luck with computers today. I was going to go and update my mom's computer operating system because Windows 10 support is ending. I think tomorrow. It's either the 14th or the 15th. Um, Anyway, so I was going to go update it and then realized that she's still running Windows 7 on hers, which meant that I would have to update to 10 and then to 11, and there is no great way to do that. And also, somehow, in the last couple of weeks, the antivirus system that we have um, is no longer updating because Windows has not been updating. um, so I can't safely download. Um, I can't go and find the correct operating system package to download, and I can't install it because mom's computer is now vulnerable due to the antivirus. But I can't do the antivirus. Anyway, so we were looking at just like forgetting that and getting mom a new laptop. Um, One that is more up to date and one that she would be able to use more handily and be able to take out in and out of the office, that kind of stuff. So found a great one on Walmart. Said we could have it either delivered or pick it up from our local. Said they had it. So we ordered it and then it was immediately canceled. But there's now a hold on mom's card for that amount of money for 10 days, 10 business days for an order that they canceled like immediately. I'm like, what is going on? Her number was right. It's like it's probably something that like she doesn't order that much, especially from their app. Usually shops in person rather than online. I was doing it from my computer because that's just easier and at the moment safer. Anyway, so now she's on the phone with the bank trying to figure out the hold on her card so that we can then go bother Walmart and be like, you said you had this. You said you had it. I don't know that there's anything they can do about it. Anyway, so there's that. Just like, so I guess I should say I'm not having much luck with mom's computer today. But we are running on mine. So here we are. Hopefully my computer is well behaved today. And hopefully yours is as well. Stacy says afternoon. Afternoon. Hello. Welcome. Kara says, okay, this is in response to the poll for today. So let me go ahead and pull that up. This is in regards to the tartans. There we go. And then let me find the so it's the tartanregister.k. A world one. Oh. Yeah, here we go. Okay, here is the tartan register in the link there. Let me pull up the... Here we go. Okay, so Kara says, my main character, Hart, would wear the MacDonald tartan. His mother's maiden name is MacDonald, but the Lamont is close in appearance. Okay, so we have the Stewart of Bute. This is specifically their hunting tartan, because if you didn't know, they do have different colors for different occasions. Typically, they're variations of the same color, just more vibrant or more muted, depending on what it's for. Like if it's for a fancy dress occasion versus like hunting type thing. Hunting is typically more muted, but this one was an interesting one because it is sort of this almost burgundy color. But in the shade, this this green and sort of burgundy would work very well for some camouflages. Anyway, so the Stewart of Bute hunting. Here's the Lamond or Lamont, depending on how it was. The immigration spellings and everything have kind of messed with spellings of things. So that's why I put two versions of this. Then the McLain or the Witches of Scotland. So this one is a relatively new official tartan. So yeah. And some of these are these three, the top row and the left column, excuse me, all predate the registry. Like they were already in existence. They already had established patterns. The Witches of Scotland tartan is a relatively new one. So it did not predate the establishment of the official registry. So there's that. But you can read a little bit more about the tartans if you want. The website. What is this doing? Oh, okay, yeah. Share screen. So this is the Scottish Register of Tartans. Put myself down here in the bottom. So you can do a quick search. So if you know that you have a family name, so MacDonald, you can do a quick search and they will pop up several different MacDonalds. So some of these, you can tell there's a specific designer when it was recorded. So some of these are newer. So like this one was established in 2023 or recorded in 2023. Some of these are older, meaning, and they will not have a specified designer or date record. So like this one, the MacDonald dress, if we click onto that, you have a little bit of notes here. So from the 1880 Clans Original, this appears to be the version used by modern weavers. The original Johnson set used black for the two wide tram lines on white instead of blue, as shown here, which is the choice of today's weaver. So if you click on to here, you can get a more close-up look at the weave. So you can see the blue that they're talking about. It's a little harder to see on the smaller version. So, and here's like a bright blue one. But again, this is like a personal registry. So you can create your own tartans and register them I don't know what the requirements for registry are. I know there are some fees associated, but they have information up here in case you want it. You can also click and see what types of new tartans there are. Again, personal. Some of them are like concerts. Some of them are for like sports teams, colleges, things like that. This one has a little little camera image right here. So if you click on the information, and this one doesn't actually say it. So, but this tartan design was designed specifically for Alfred Academy. Schools are colors are based on the school's logo. Most of the time, when you see this means that there is like a proprietary licensing on that tartan. So, like I know there are a couple of ones for sports teams that are supposed to be only licensed for the sports team players, and things like that. So, if you are shopping around for some tartans, make sure you look for the little camera thingy. I avoided a couple of those because I was like, oh, this one looks cool. Oh, wait, it's proprietary. So anyway, Monique says, hey, y'all. Hello. Welcome. So most of these are two of those are from my family. The McLain and the Lamont are two from my family. So I already knew about tartans somewhat, and I knew there was registry, so I just looked for it. The perks of having family members who are slightly obsessed with their Scottish heritage. Monique says, I'm working on my minor characters for Drama of the Undead. You're introducing your first Indian Muslim character. At the moment, his name is Ismail Rashid. Okay. Nice. And is there a particular reason why you want to have the Indian Muslim? Or is it just that you are trying to include more cultures, like basing it on a particular character, or what? You had a great time at the book fair on Saturday. Yes, I was going to ask you about this. You sold 6 copies of your book and got your author newsletter started up. Nice. Very nice. Excellent. You think your characters would choose Lamont because they like the colors the best? Yes. There were a couple that were yellow, like mustardy yellow, that I was like, ooh. But some of those were proprietary. So like I couldn't include that. But yeah. I also thought about putting the Black Watch, which is a government tartan. Thought about doing that one, but it was very similar to the Lamont one. So I did not. Kara says the inner fucking peace card for today says, oh, and fuzzy slippers. Yeah, I am not wearing fuzzy slippers, and maybe I could have used this morning. Elizabeth says, hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. Kara says, I pulled the King of Wands from the Midnight Magic deck. Nice. I closed that accidentally. Oopsies. King of Wands. Okay, so authority and passion. Potentially hot air as well, depending on if it was upside down or not. You are Dunbar on your mother's side. Okay, let's look up Dunbar. And see what we get. Okay. So we have Dunbar. Oh, so that was the other thing. This the designer Sobieski Stewart's. So this was a Polish and Scottish combined, like weaving house, I want to say, weaving house, designing house. So that was kind of an interesting little bit of lore. There was a bit of Polish history united with Scottish history as well. So that was kind of an interesting thing. Then we have the Dunbar 1840. Here's a Dunbar hunting. And so it's like there's a whole bunch of different ones. So depending on here's one of the sort of golden ones, but that one's Dunbarton, so Quebec. So this one is probably done after a bunch of the Dunbars moved to Nova Scotia and then to Quebec, and sort of modified and reestablished themselves over in North America. Is probably what happened with that. So yeah, so there's a bunch of different Dunbars. So that's the problem, is there's so many, because when Scottish people left, they went everywhere, and then sometimes they chose to change the tartan, and sometimes they chose to establish new ones, and it's fascinating. It's all kind of cool. Anyway, anybody else have some Scottish family names we should be looking up? You chose the witch pattern for Susie for obvious fairy related reasons. Yes. Ishmael is going to be playing the Persian in the Phantom adaptation. Okay, gotcha. It's partially commentary on how Hollywood will cast any brown actor to play an ethnicity that they're actually not. Gotcha. But also Ishmael's Muslim faith will help him resist the vampire gaslighting. Also good. Also good for Ishmael. Earlier you drew the Queen of Wands. Ooh, okay. So we are staying in the royal house today, King and Queen. Okay. Alexis says, hi, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. You pulled the Two of Cups. Okay, so no longer in the royal house. But balance. Balance is good. Yeah, and I've had a bunch of frustration, so I should hopefully balance that out with some relaxation and some peace and meditation. And anyway, so again, here are the tartans that are in today's poll. Okay, all right. How does that work? I don't know, but okay. So there we go. That is the 4 options for the poll. And of course, if you have a particular tartan in mind, or you go spend some time on the tartan registry and discover one, feel free to pop it in the chat. Okay, there's that. Now we need the doggos, and we need a card for the day, right? Oh, and on Wednesday, the 15th, I'm not going to be here. Bestie is going to be coming up to Athens for a couple hours, so I'm going to meet her. Hopefully, I don't think. I think she'll probably leave maybe about like 2 or so. So I don't know if we'll be doing like a late pop-up, but I can't guarantee it because I don't know how long we'll chat. So 22 is our number, and it was inverted today. So we'll get that in a moment. The doggo for the weekend was named Pretzel. She's pointing at you. Yeah, you. Better go see what she wants. 12 out of 10, we bet it's head pats. So there is Pretzel. Pretzel is adorable. And she has nominated you for giving her the honor of head pats. Very cute. Very cute. Then we have Hope. He thought the rainbow was pretty, but we thought he was prettier. So here's Hope. I'm going to be honest, did not even notice the rainbow at first. So I would agree with the sentiment. So we have Pretzel and Hope today. And then we have the dragonfly inverted. So here's the dragonfly. Truth transcends illusion. Did you really think this world of the senses is all there is? From the hidden mystical realms, signs are being sent to you, but perhaps you have perceived separation and convinced yourself that you are on your own. Have you fallen into spiritual amnesia and forgotten your connection to a living, loving, and always supportive universe? If so, rub the sleep from your eyes, for the dragonfly is here to remind you of all the love and support available to you in every moment. There is an organizing principle underlying the events that you have experienced, and the dragonfly can help you see it and trust that the universe has your back. Let go of the illusion of chaos and randomness. Love is here, so follow the signs that appear serendipitously. As you pay attention to the magic all around you, you will know that you are on the right track. So here is our dragonfly, which is very cool. So I like that. It's a reminder that you are not on your own and that the universe conspires with you. Okay. Let's do the first sprint, and then I can go check on my mom because I can hear her getting a little agitated with whoever she's on the phone with. What am I doing? Nope. That needs to be up here. Okay. Get this. Honestly, there we go. Okay, let's do this. 1, save your document, or go ahead and pull up whatever document you think you're going to work on. 2 is to make sure you have something to hydrate with, and go ahead and take a sip. Cheers. Three, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I managed to get 444 words. Somehow. Amidst all of that. But we have some maybe potential success with Mom's laptop. She managed to get a hold of someone at Walmart, customer service wise, and explain sort of was wondering, why was the order instantly canceled? Turns out it was because Mom originally had a different card associated with her Walmart account. And we had canceled that one due to fraud. Anyway, so because it was a different card number, it was flagged as potential fraud on their side. And so they went ahead and canceled it. I think because it was a larger order. I think if it had been like, $35 grocery order or whatnot, they might have let it through, but not a several $100 charge for the first time. Anyway, so the lady at the customer service desk, said that she would remove the bank hold that they put on your account, and that she would fully erase that attempted transaction and somehow flag Mom's account as good again. But it would take 45 minutes for that to process. And so after 45 minutes, we could place the order again and it would go through and we will be able to pick up her laptop this evening. So, hopefully that is true and we can in fact pick up. But again, we have to make the order again and trust that that she has done what she said she has and cleared the hold so that way Mom doesn't have an extra hold on her account for 10 days. That would be very lovely if that is in fact what has happened. So I'm hoping that is in fact the case. So, yay. So one step closer. One step closer. Yeah, Mom is going to have a better better processor than I have. I was talking to her about it before we made the decision to get it, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this has a better processor than my laptop, and it does. It's newer. So anyway, I have other better specs, but she'll have a better processor. Anyway, it's fine. Hopefully it'll all work out right. Also, I have asked a sort of a random question. I want to know what kind of journals or planners people are using for next year, because I know I'm going to have an everyday. I know I'm going to have a reading journal, but I'm going to have to figure out how to get myself into the reading journal more often, because mine just doesn't. It's not currently serving. So I have to figure out how to make it easier for myself to get into and do, for the little bits of things that I read here and there. I think I'm probably going to have a goals journal. I have a current one that is not doing well. But I've only used about half of it, in terms of pages used. Okay, a little bit more. Yeah. So I've used half. So I could continue to use this one for a while, and I should, because I have decorated it and it's pretty. But some of this, I don't know, I could use this as sort of maybe scrapbooking and cover up what I've already got, because I don't think it's going to be what I want. Or I could just take it as a R&D and sketch out issues and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm sort of wondering what other types of journals, because I've got this really pretty one from Tifosi that's lined. I couldn't resist the cover. So I may turn this into, I don't know if I should turn this into a gratitude journal or a, like what? I'm not real sure. No, it does have ribbon bookmarks. Looky there. I didn't realize it did. So I guess I'm just like, what are y'all doing journal-wise next year? It's like I don't want to have too many, but on the other hand, I have a whole bunch of journals, so I could do I'm thinking about maybe turning one into a sketchbook. Like maybe one of the Archer and Olives with the 160 GSM that would take, different light amount of paint. Or if I should just like use a sketchbook for that. Because I'm pretty sure I also have a free sketchbook somewhere. Multiple. So yeah. Monique has a bullet journal that you bought from Michael's. So you have the sections already penciled out. Nice. Very nice. You worked on Ishmael's character profile. Excellent. You're already seeing him as a sort of stoic guy. Gotcha. His stoicism is linked to something related to Islam. Okay. And Kara's about to join a free fictionary webinar called The Heroine's Journey. And so Kara gave a link to that a little bit later. He still likes acting. His favorite actors are Leonard Nimoy, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Hugh Laurie. They can play stoic characters, but they can also play very expressive characters. So I sort of see what you're going, like all three of those have a character that is very, in some ways, cold and arrogant, outward presenting, but still like has a kernel of a good heart. But very, they can be off-putting to other characters. I'm thinking because Spock is sort of like, the whole thing is like very non-human, but learning humanity, learning empathy, learning to understand how other people tick. Sherlock and Doctor Strange, very similar, very arrogant, very intelligent, but like at heart, sort of seeking to help or seeking to understand, like putting pieces together. Hugh Laurie with Dr. House, again, sort of that very gruff, off-putting exterior. But like, again, a heart that wants to help for the most part. So I can see sort of like where you're going with these three particular actors, and sort of that it's kind of stoicism, but it's kind of not. And that sort of like gruff, defensive technique that they use, I want to say. So yeah. Okay, so here's the link for the Heroine's Journey. Weaver Words is here. Hello, welcome. Seabright is asking about Monique's character. Is he Islamic? You have an Islamic main character in your novella. Your book takes place in 2010s. Okay. Yes. And yes, Monique plans for him to be an Indian American Muslim. And you would love some help with it if you have some tips. Like, does the name Ishmael Rashid sound like a good character name? Stewart says, I think so, but I am thinking to consult some sensitivity readers or maybe ask someone from an Islamic community for feedback. I would also second this. Rashid sound, yes. I'm not entirely sure if is Ishmael. Yes, it's a common Muslim name. The Arabic version of Ishmael. Okay. So yeah. Well, AI says it's common. I don't know. But again, AI is AI. Yes, you're asking for permission to enter a Facebook group where Muslims talk to non-Muslims. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that would be a good good resource. It's not common. Interesting. But you like calling him Ishmael. Yeah. Yeah. I think asking for advice from community is probably good. Probably a very good thing. I don't know. I don't. Are there any openly Islamic practicing or non-practicing in authortube? I don't know if there is. So I don't know if there's anybody like within the authortube community to ask directly. At least I'm not aware of, like, because it's kind of a lot of people try and like keep that for themselves. Um, whether you're Christian or Islamic or Buddhist or whatever, a lot of times it doesn't necessarily come up in conversation. Um, because typically when you do bring that up in conversation, it typically loses you some portion of your audience for whatever reason. So I don't know if there's anybody who's openly practicing. You'll find a lot you'll find a lot of ex-Mormons talking about you know, you'll find that kind of stuff. You'll find people who have left organizations often are a little willing to talk about it, or that's just become part of their conversation because they have had to navigate reorienting their entire lives to be more secular or not of that particular sect. But yeah, I don't know if there is anybody who is openly Muslim in authortube. So I don't know. That'd be a question to ask. But yeah, but I think the Facebook group is a good place to go. I know Heather Dupatet probably has some connections to sensitivity readers. I'm trying to think if Lizelle Sambury's stories, because I know she had a bunch of sensitivity readers, but I'm not sure how many of them she found before her publishing house agency did the editing. I'm not sure. You found a couple of Muslim booktubers and talkers. Okay, nice. So maybe that would be a good way to start. And then you could always ask them about additional Muslim authors if you want to read as well as read their depiction of Islamic characters. Okay, let's get another sprinty sprint going, shall we? I feel like this one I'll be moving, and I'm hoping maybe that one as well. Maybe. Okay. Also, don't forget, let me pop up the picture of the poll again, in case you haven't seen it. The poll is about which tartan would your main character wear? The Stewart of Bute hunting tartan, the Lamond or Lamont tartan, the McLain tartan, or the Witches of Scotland tartan. Which one would your main character wear? Or if you have a particular family tartan, let us know which one it would be. Oh, I closed that rather than minimized. Oopsies. All right, let's do the second sprint. Second sprint, as always, is the self-promo sprint. So make sure if you would like to do some self-promo, now's your chance to do it. All right, 1, save your document. 2, make sure you take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4, make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So, uh, laptop purchase failed, and then we tried again, and it worked. We think. We have not gotten an immediate rejection from the from the pickup people. So supposedly, Mom will have a new laptop that we can pick up at like 5:40. Such a hassle. Anyway, hopefully it will be worth it and all good. Ishmael's parents could be fans of Moby Dick. Could be. Also, Monique's self-promo author newsletter is out. Excellent. So can people find this through your social media? Do you have a website where... Let me just do this. There you go. Now you have a wrench. Yeah. Okay. I only got like 100 words-ish before going to deal with some more of that. Don't you love when technology is like doing its thing? I don't know. Anyway, supposedly it went through. We're going to have to trust that. And hopefully it only went through one time. We're also going to have to trust that until we figure the rest of it out. You got through more videos on GIT branches. Excellent. Do you have coffee to accompany you? That is the next question. So... I think everybody here is subscribed, but I guess my self-promo is, if you are not subscribed, please consider it. Or if YouTube has unsubscribed you, please consider resubscribing. Coffee is brewing, which you definitely need now. Yeah. That is one of the things that definitely happens when you are doing instructional videos. Occasionally you run across some instructional videos that are entertaining. But for the most part, they're usually pretty dry. So, all right. Don't forget to vote if you have not already done so. Let me pull up the Tartan picture if I can. So again, don't forget to vote for which tartan your main character might wear. The Stewart of Bute, the Lamont, the McLain, or the Witches of Scotland. Which one would it be? I don't know if I should zoom in any. Is that better? I don't know. Anyway. Don't forget. Also, don't let me forget to end the poll when we are ready for that. Okay, let's go ahead and do the third sprint. Let's do the hedgehog. You can't help but use an accent when you read the names. I mean, yeah, there is that. I guess I'm so used to all of my Southern family just saying our names, like the family names, the way that we say them, that I don't bother with the accent anymore. So yeah. Anyway, let's do this. 1, save your document. 2, make sure you take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine. Roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. That was that sprint. I did okay. I did several hundred more. I'm still like just shy of 1,000 now, so it's not been a very focused day. That's for sure. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Luckily, I just went and checked with mom, and we've not had like a cancellation from the laptop order, so hopefully that will continue to do correctly. I've realized I needed to update my reading journal for both September and October. I never finished my August list in my reading journal. So that's going to take up some pages. So hooray. I guess I've got to go through my history and stuff, and my ebooks that I've been reading. But yeah, so Kara said you haven't eaten yet today, so you are now eating a big oat nugget thing while waiting for the rice to cook so that you could have rice and leftover meatballs. Hopefully you had something to drink with that. Funky's coffee got you through the videos. Excellent. Good job. Good job. I made a quick list of journals and notebooks that I have to choose from for next year. I don't remember if I had done that before or not, but I did this time. And I apparently have 10 notebooks to choose from. Really 9, because I think I'm going to go ahead and donate one of them that is, it's like the companion to this one. And it's just kind of like a really drab olive green color, and I don't really love it. So I think I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to donate it. That way I don't have to count it amongst the ones. But I still have 9 notebooks to choose from for next year. So I know I'm going to have an everyday that's going to be a B5 because I like that size. Either a B5 or a square. I don't know. I do like the B5 though. So that's one. I know I'm going to need a new reading journal because this one will be done by the end of this year. So that's 2. I know I want a goal journal dedicated goal journal. Or at least I think I do. I think I do. So that would be 3. Again, thinking about a sketchbook, so that would be 4. It's a lot of notebooks. And I'd still be working on my long term. This one's not going to change because I've still got plenty of room in it. Because I don't add a huge amount here every time. So I've got the amount of space in my learn term. So that doesn't bother me. Because this one is one that will stick around for a while longer. And some stuff in here is no longer like relevant, but I'm not going to like ditch the whole notebook for that. So got that one. I've got this blue one that I'm working on. Again, I may repurpose the second half of this. We'll see. But I've got plenty of notebooks to choose from, and I need to start like really making a headway into like using them instead of just having them sit around and be pretty. Stacy says, now I want spaghetti meatballs. We had spaghetti last night. We did not have meatballs though, but we do have some in the freezer. So I could make barbecue meatballs in a small crock pot, which might not be a bad idea, but I don't know if we have extra barbecue sauce for that. We've got grape jelly. because that's, if you didn't know, some grape jelly is part of the secret ingredient for barbecue meatballs. So maybe I could put that on for tomorrow. Maybe I could put that on, because how long do they have to cook? Crockpot meatballs. Crockpot BBQ meatballs. Like 2 to 3 hours. Okay, well, that's not. Maybe I could put it on tomorrow at noon and have it ready for dinner. Maybe that's it. Grape jelly, barbecue sauce, meatballs. It's very, very simple. You just have to get the ratio right. Which, according to iHeart Nap Time, is okay. So this one you can definitely break down. 1 18-ounce jar of grape jelly, 1 18-ounce jar of barbecue sauce. So you have to have equal parts jelly and barbecue. And then 1 32-ounce bag of frozen fully cooked meatballs. What portion is that? Almost double. Not quite double, but you could do double and it'd be fine, I'm sure. So equal parts grape and barbecue, and then double that amount of meatballs. In a medium bowl or space of a slow cooker, combine the grape jelly and the barbecue sauce, add meatballs, stir until coated. Cook on high for 2 to 3 hours or low 3 to 4. Yeah. For half recipe, 25 meatballs, 1 cup grape jelly, 1 cup barbecue sauce. Yeah, that seems a little bit more appropriate. If you're doing it on the stove, combine the sauces, bring to a light simmer. Once stirred, put in the meatballs. Light simmer, cook for 10 to 15 minutes or until heated. Yeah. Okay, if you want the recipe, since I just read it all out, here's the blog post thingy, whatever. So yeah. I have tried just winging the barbecue stuff, and I got way too much grape, or it just didn't integrate properly. So I think I would probably nuke the grape jelly and the barbecue sauce together, nuke or simmer it until it's actually combined, because getting a mouthful of jelly is not great when you're just doing it by guesswork. Anyway, so let's go ahead and figure out what tartan our main characters are wearing. So 40% of our main characters are going to be wearing the Witches of Scotland tartan, followed by the Lamond tartan, then by the Stewart of Bute, and then last of all is the McLain. So that's how it runs out. Again, I'm not going to be here Wednesday. I will be here Friday. I'm not going to be here Wednesday at our typical time. I might do a pop-up, hopefully later in the afternoon on Wednesday. But I can't guarantee it, so I'm not going to schedule it. So Friday is which book talk genre / trend would your main character be reading? And then Mondays is going to be which of these is your main character going to use to keep time? So there you go. All right, don't forget to save. I will hopefully see y'all on Wednesday afternoon, hopefully. Keep my fingers crossed for a later pop-up. And good, happy writing. All the words to you, all the words and all the focus. And I will hopefully see y'all in the chats later because I have some words to make up. All right. Thanks and have a good day. Bye.